My name is Helena Zenwa. I am the Assistant Dean for Career Management and External Relations at Stewart School of Business. I want to welcome all of you this afternoon and thank you very much for joining. Please remember, if you're not speaking, to keep your phone on or screen on mute so that we can reduce any interruptions. Throughout the session, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat function, and Shazad and I will make sure that we get those questions read out. That being said, I'm going to transition over to our Senior Associate Director, Shazad Hussain, to introduce our guests.
Thank you, Helen. I would like to take this opportunity once again to thank Bhavesh Patel, Jack Politan, Shia Au, and Joshua Joseph, and Jitesh Parekh, who is also expected to join us sometime soon, for taking out their precious time to be with us today and talk to our students about some of the career opportunities that exist at Northern Trust. We once again welcome you to this session, and we look forward to a great cooperation with you and look forward to a great partnership with you. With that said, Bhavesh, I would like to now welcome you to introduce yourselves and start off the presentation.
Thank you very much, Shahzad. So thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank IIT, Helen and Shahzad for inviting us and just to give us an opportunity to get connected with the potential candidate. I have my colleagues, all of us are coming from Northern Trust, specifically from Hedge Fund Service Division, which is also referred as Omnium. And we are mainly responsible and focusing on middle office services. And we have created a presentation for you guys today for what we do and services that we offer within middle office services. But before that, let me introduce myself. And first of all, let me share my screen. So just a minute. All right, so the way we have created this presentation is that we are gonna take a top-down approach. We're gonna explain you about Northern Trust as a bank. And then after that, Josh, who is my colleague, he's going to explain about Omnium platform, which is the middle office platform where we service our asset managers, mainly hedge funds and pension funds. And after that, Chia and Jack, they are going to talk about trade capture and clearing and settlement processes. First of all, as I said, that we would like to thank you, Shahzad, IIT, and Helen for giving us this opportunity, because in this time, as you know, that job fairs are very limited because of the protocols and stuff like that. So, institution like IIT, who is taking the time and initiative to connect their students, potential candidates to employer via virtual, and we are direct hiring managers, so we are not some of those HR coordinators or junior team members in the team, but we are direct hiring managers. We have provided some of the job specs and job descriptions that we are looking for. Right now, we are actively hiring right now, so I'm looking forward to talking to you, explaining what we do from our side. And anytime if you have any questions, as Helen mentioned, please feel free to drop them via chat box, and we would like to address the end of the session. One last thing, that we are going to share our personal, our email address, corporate email address. If you are interested to reach out to us and forward your resume directly to us, we are happy to take a look at it, and we will put you in contact with our HR department as well. So having said that, let me introduce myself. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So Bhavesh Patel, I manage a clearing and custody settlement team within Omnium platform. I started Northern Trust Hedge Fund Service. We might refer sometime Omnium platform because this was a part of Citadel Omnium group, which we acquired in 2011. Right around the same time I joined Northern Trust. I've been within the firm for almost 10 years. And been fortunate enough to work with some of the brightest in Chicago. And some of the clients that we are managing, they're very high frequent, they're very fast-paced hedge fund managers and very complex client, but it gives me an opportunity to learn and expand my knowledge base also. Having said that, I'm gonna I'm going to give it to Josh, who's going to introduce himself.
Thank you, Bhavish. Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Joseph. I, first of all, want to echo the same sentiment as Bhavish and express my gratitude to IIT as an institution, Shahzad, Helen, certainly for this opportunity you've given us to come in and showcase what we do and who we are, and provide a unique opportunity for all the attendees here to join our team if they're so inclined. So with that said, my name, as I said, is Joshua Joseph. I've been here with Northern Trust now for almost 7 years. It's like a blink of an eye, but time flies. So prior to joining Northern Trust Hedge Fund Services, I was an options and futures trader at the Chicago Board of Trade in the pits, and the hedge fund that I was employed by was, we can just say, not well managed, and so that allowed me the opportunity to choose a new career. And so I've been very happy here at Northern Trust for the last 7 years. And so if you have any questions, I think Helen put a comment in the chat box if there are any direct questions that any of the attendees are able to direct them there, and I'd be happy to answer. But I look forward to engaging with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chia All. I am a team lead of clearing and settlement team, and I have been with Northern Trust for 12 years, and I've been with hedge fund services within Northern Trust for 6 years. And I specialize in verification, settlement, and lifecycle event processing related to client transactions. And I look forward to speak with every one of you today.
Jack.
Hey, I'm Jack Baldwin. I joined Northern Trust 3 years ago. I had a similar path as Josh. So I was formerly a futures and options trader, mostly in agriculture and commodities. And I did that for roughly like 7 years, like working in that world, and joined Northern Trust 3 years ago. So it's been an incredible opportunity to be here, to work with this team, and we have a lot to offer as far as like career paths, and I think just been an incredible opportunity for me to be here in Northern.
Thank you, Jack. So let me tell you a little bit about Northern Trust, right? So as I said, the approach is going to be top-down approach. I'm going to give you a little bit high-level summary about Northern Trust. So this particular page is giving you the core businesses of Northern Trust and their clients, and just a personal, personal story that if somebody would have asked me like 10, 11 years ago that, hey, can you please describe me Northern Trust, their clients, their business, stuff like that, I would have said a small retail bank out of Chicago, probably individuals like us are their clients. But if you look at this particular slide, the core business that they have is divided into 3 groups: asset servicing, wealth management, and asset management. The clients that they have, definitely they have individual clients, so I would have been right there. But along with that, main clients are asset managers, financial institutions, insurance companies, non-profit organizations like endowment funds. They also have alternative managers or investment managers, family offices, individuals, trust. So those are those clients. And the important number that I would like to share here is that 15.7 trillion assets under custody and administrations. So by no means it's a small bank, but we all come from asset servicing. The entire division the entire team that we have here, it's coming from asset servicing. Particularly, we are from Omnium platform. So we are going to talk about asset servicing and the services that we offer within asset servicing. So Northern Trust has a custody business. They have a fund service business, data solutions, capital marketing, and banking services, right? Where we come from, that's where it's like, middle office services, where we manage post-execution, post-allocations, post-executions from investment managers. So once the trades are booked, we are responsible to ensure that trades are booked in our books and records correctly. We are capturing their net asset value, providing financial statements and stuff like that. Along with that, we also provide our clients performance and risk analytics, regulatory solutions, compliance analytics. So that's what we provide. But we are just one branch of asset servicing. If you talk about like some of the other branches, like for example, we have a brokerage and execution desk also. We have a foreign exchange desk. We have a security lending. So for example, if a client wants to short sell their shares and they don't have those shares, and if their agreement doesn't allow them to keep those shares, that means they have to borrow those shares from somewhere else. Our security lending service will assist them. If a client has a fund and their fund is mandated to keep it all the balance within USD dollars, right? If they have executed trade in euro, right away they need to convert that euro into USD. Our foreign exchange desk will help them. So even though they are not part of the same division, we work with those teams very closely. Similarly, custody business is one of the lucrative business from a asset servicing standpoint. We are managing 2,500 plus clients. They come from 53 different locations, and we work very closely with our custody counterparts across the world and make sure that our clients' trade settles on time. A good example is that there was a trade in India that was supposed to settle yesterday, and Chia and her custody counterpart Willie from they were working with our APAC and Deutsche Bank in APAC region and solving the trade, settling the trade for the client. So that kind of like engagement that we provide. Even though she doesn't need to be up in the night, but she was making sure that there is because there are steep penalties. So that's why we work with our custody counterparts, which are not part of the Omnium. They are part of the global custody service team. But we work as a team and make sure that we provide the best service to our clients. The next slide is just a showcase about our global presence. As you can see here, that 26 global locations. We are.
Hey, Bhavish, just
yes.
one thing. Sorry, you probably you need to move your screens because it's still stuck on the first screen.
Oh, really? Sorry.
No problem.
How about this?
Yep. There you go.
Sorry. So let me show you the screen that I was talking about before. So this was the screen that I was talking about where we have 2,500 plus clients, 2,500 plus clients in 53 countries, right? This is where we are coming from, data solutions. And these are the other services branches within asset servicing. And this is just a showcase of our global presence where we have 26 global locations, 102 markets that we are covering. From a manpower standpoint, we have 24,000 plus employees within across the globe. So by no means this is a small bank. Definitely, we are across the globe, and I think what we try to achieve is that client service is at our forefront. We always try to make sure our clients are happy. Our expertise, our knowledge, our people, and technology. Northern Trust has their own technology team. Whatever the tools that we are using here, it's all proprietary, constantly working with our IT team to enhance our products and try to close the gaps and to serve our clients. So having said that, I'm going to give it to Josh, and he's going to talk about Omnium platform and the service that we are offering a little bit in details from Omnium platform side. All right, so over to you, Josh.
Thank you, Bhavish. Yep, and as Bhavish has already mentioned, the name Omnium and Hedge Fund Service is synonymous with the same organization. So first, I'll start with providing a little background on what necessitated our existence, what our pedigree is, and then I'll go into what differentiates broader Northern Trust organization from the herd in the hedge fund administration business. So first of all, I think it's important to mention that some of our upper management, certainly the likes of Jitesh Parikh and Dan Urschel, are alums of IIT, and that's part of the draw for us to be here today. So, going back to kind of what Bhavesh was saying, this is a unique time, unique opportunity. And so I hope every individual that's in attendance here can recognize that this is a unique opportunity and treat it as such. So hedge fund services, or Omnium Business Services, as we may be known, had its start as the ops division of a well-known hedge fund here in Chicago, which is Citadel. And so Citadel sold that business to Northern Trust right around the time of the financial crisis. I'm not sure how many of you were old enough to be privy to what was going on in the market. I think the four of us certainly were feeling the effects of the crunch. It was a much different time than this, where some of the best known institutions in finance were going under, and there was not a finance job to be had. But it's a testament to how this organization was built from the bottom up, that even in the midst of turmoil and the markets going head over heels, we're able to stay profitable. And certainly, as Bhavesh mentioned, Northern Trust is a global presence and has been for a long time, especially in Chicago. That comes with Omnium Business Services, or the technology that Citadel has to offer and has built over the years. And so that's what I'll be going into with my time, is what differentiates us as a hedge fund administrator from the herd, right? And so Bhavesh, we can move. Okay, yeah, we're already gonna go back one slide. Sorry, I thought we were on the introductory side. So first of all, it's two things, right? First of all, it's our platform or our technology, and secondly, it's our people and our partners. It's a lot of P's. So firstly, I'll start with our platform. Even in the industry as a whole, I think Citadel has a name for itself, especially when I was working for a proprietary trading shop. Citadel was known for its technology and its ability to be very agile and to create technology that's at the top of its class. And so when the hedge fund that I was working for went under, it was very interesting because, I was working with proprietary software at the time, and to come over and see how great Citadel technology really was a mind-opening experience. So I'm not going to read every word on this slide to you, but I would just like to maybe summarize some of the key aspects of that technology and what the takeaways are. So, our platform is built by and for sophisticated investors. So when we say it's built by, we're looking at the pedigree in and it's built for now, post Dodd-Frank, the need for the hedge fund administrative business. We have some of the largest clients, largest hedge funds in the world on our platform. And that's something we pride ourselves in, is that we are able to support and meet the demands of the most sophisticated investors in the world. And so that's not something to be taken lightly, especially with respect to comparing ourselves against our competitors. And we don't. And that's a selling point, and that's certainly one of our greatest competitive advantages. And so just to draw some of those advantages out of our technology is integrated. And so it's uniquely positioned to bring together very different aspects of the business, and we're still involved in developing this today, to make it accessible even via your cell phone. Whereas historically, there's a need for credentials to be entered at different levels in a VDI environment and this and that. Northern Trust and certainly the Omnium Business Platform has been versatile enough to understand the needs of its investors of today and offer platforms that are accessible even from your cell phone. We envision ourselves as a one-stop shop. So no matter what our clients trade, whether that be something that's in the listed world as simple as a common equity, or something that's much more complex as a crypto inverse future, our goal is to meet clients with our technology. Our technology is also very customizable. So depending on the needs of our clients, there's certainly aspects of our technology that clients can create to meet their own needs. So it's not, this is what you get. It's more of what do you need, and we'll show you how to pull that out of our system. So this is a great competitive advantage for us. We're also, we have a depth of knowledge, and I see that I'm running short on time, so I'll try to wrap this up quicker. But there's a depth of knowledge here, especially with our technology, in that whether you're looking at historical data or whether you're looking at different aspects of positions or trades, it's very versatile to give you that detail. And that's something that we strive for. And as I mentioned, more recently, we've been pushing for this to all be accessible to our clients in real time. And so this is the last point on the slide, which is powerful interactive dashboard, right? It's being able to access that data in real time. Okay, go ahead and get to the next slide, Bhavish. So again, one thing, a mantra that I live by is that the proof is in the pudding, and certainly Northern Trust Hedge Fund Services, we live by that mantra too. And so here are some KPIs, right? Key performance indicators that prove that we talk, not only do we talk the talk, but we walk the walk, right? In the beginning of our business, we were much smaller. We had, much less clients, less trade volume, but today we're processing process up to 10 million. There are 2.7 million unique instruments in our security database. We've engaged with over 25 external message operating managers, right? And so this is unique relationships that we have. And we're highly automated. So of that 1 million trades, 99.9, I think we can probably add a few more nines after that decimal. It's completely automated. None of us need to get involved. It just flows through our system and we don't think about it. So what's moreover is, even with those types of stats, we are heavily invested in our technology. And we've very recently invested over $125 million to further develop our technology and make us stand out further in terms of our technology in the industry. Next slide, please. So you might be thinking, oh, that's great. Your technology is wonderful. Like, what does that mean to me as an individual, right? Next slide. So the next point I want to get across to all of you is that our competitive advantage certainly is derived from our technology, but moreover, it's in our people and it's in our partners. And I think any one of us here who have been here 5+ years can attest to the fact that there's a culture here at Northern Trust that's bar none, that's different than anywhere that we've worked at. And so we really pride ourselves in being able to get the right people in the right places and make sure that they have the resources they need to do their job to the best of their ability. And so, in terms of partners, it's, especially as you guys are coming out of school or out of a grad program, what's important to you is training, right? And so I can speak to the fact that our training program is very extensive. Not only do we have your cookie cutter classes that will teach you about any product type or any asset class, but our training program is rigorous in the sense that we will sit with you and handhold you through what you need to know. There's no expectation that you walk in the door and you're a PhD at what we do, right? That's out of the question. We understand that there's a learning curve, and we make sure that we're able to get you to where you need to be. So whether that be in a class setting or whether that be in the Northern Trust University setting or at the individual level, we're willing to do that. The characteristics that we seek out in our partners is that every individual is engaged, they enjoy solving problems, they have organizational skills, they're goal-oriented, and they pride themselves in excellence, right? And so these are questions you can all ask yourselves is, if you don't enjoy solving problems, this is probably not something you'll enjoy doing. If you don't enjoy organizing complex scenarios and boiling it down to the simplest terms, these roles are probably not for you. But if you do, these are great opportunities that can be had here. And so beyond the individual level, at the team level, we definitely try to foster a culture of sharing and developing each other, whether that be through knowledge shares or, the training program, which aspect of developing our team. And we take that very seriously at every level, whether that be from management to every new joiner. We foster this spirit of team camaraderie and making sure that each individual feels like they're part of the team. And even at a broader level, at the Northern Trust level, there's folks dedicated to making sure that we are inclusive and everyone feels like they're part of the team, whether that be through diversity or inclusion. And so Northern Trust, HFS, we certainly take that seriously from the top down. Next slide, please. So that's a little bit about Northern Trust from Bhavish and a little bit about HFS, Omnium Business Services, from myself. And so now I'll pass it on to Jack to go into the more team-specific aspects of our roles and what we do. Jack.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah, so again, my name is Jack Bolton, and so right here, we're going to get more of the nuts and bolts of at least our different team responsibilities. And so my team sits right there at the top of trade capture. And so as you saw on the previous slides there, that we get over 1 million trades a day on average. And so that's across all of our clients in all our different regions. So, North America, APAC, EMEA, we're getting traded at all times throughout the day. And we got to make sure that all those trades are getting captured as quickly as possible and as accurately as possible. And so what my group does is we work with the clients both on the onboarding aspect of it. So we'll work with them and their what's called an OMS, so order management system, if they have it. And what we do is we'll break down all the different types of trades that could possibly have. And then what we do is we test for all those different scenarios in the trade communication that is necessary to capture their trades. So we have different things like an MQ setup where with certain vendors, we have direct feed going into our system. We have other setups with things like a CSV, like an Excel file, where we get all the different trade activity and it's sent to us on what's called the FTP, so file transfer protocol. And so on there, we can get as many files a day as the client needs. And what that means is we need to help them normalize all their trade activity to be able to process in our systems as quickly and as accurately as possible. So that way the other teams downstream can make sure that all their activity is accurate and P&L is reported accurately, and all the different broker relationships are being attended to on the settlement days. And so if we can move on to the next slide, I can show you kind of what that timeline looks like. So our trade file integration team, we confirm, as I mentioned before, all the different products. And so we really support over 100 different products on our systems. And so really scoping what those products are on their end is extremely important to make sure that those trades will STP when they are brought onto our platform. And so we'll validate all those scenarios, and that trade communication, as I mentioned, with MQ and other different types of feeds that provided. And so we're always in constant communication with typically like the director of operations for these hedge funds as we're onboarding them to make sure that their teams and all their traders are being able to send us their trades throughout the day accurate as possible. And so as long as we're keeping that constant communication going between us and the client, and if they have an OMS provider, it really helps grow both the client relationship and also our ability to capture trades as accurately as possible. And so with that large product scope, it's a constantly changing world, and we get to be introduced to relatively nuanced products and interesting things like crypto trading. It's something that we get involved in. So so it's just building that client relationship and making sure all their trade activity is being processed accurately. And so once the trade is posted, then we get to move on to the next phase. And so that's where Chia is going to jump in here and kind of explain what happens after we capture those trades.
Thank you, Jack. So Jack had briefly showed you this pyramid for our clearing and settlement responsibilities. And here are more details for each category from the beginning of trade capture until the end of event processing. So once we capture clients' trades, we will start trade matching and transmission process to the prime broker. And we resolve any mismatch with the broker until the trade settles. Next slide, please. So here are some of the key functions that includes managing settlements, understanding clients' workflow, and resolving client issues. We're working to streamline the operational process for our clients so our clients can focus on decision making. And we're looking for candidates who are responsible, attention to details, and who will take the initiative to resolve problems for our clients. Next slide, please. So here is a table that shows what are the impacts and dependencies that some of the administrative teams have on each other. So obviously, clearing and settlement team plays a key role and has significant impact for many other teams because they're relying on our timely capture and accuracy of trade postings before they can proceed with their key functions and produce deliverables for our clients. Next slide, please. And here are some of the key acronyms that we often use in the clearing and settlement world. So our clients send their trades through FTP. We then communicate to the prime brokers via SWIFT. The trade can be either a FOP trade, DVP, or SPO form, and they clear at DTC. Next slide, please. Now, this is a full picture of how the trade orders are communicated between the client, the counterparty, and the prime broker and us. We are the administrator. And ultimately, the trade is cleared and settled by the clearinghouse. Next slide, please. Now, this is a timeline illustrating how each administrative team produced their deliverables from the start of trade execution until the end of month reporting. So throughout the month, not only we have to resolve inquiries for external parties, but we also need to work with our internal partners to help them with deliverables. So one of the characteristics that we're looking for in a candidate is someone who can do thorough follow-ups with all parties until the deliverables are met. Next slide, please. So right now is our section for open questions.
All right. Thank you very much, Chia. Thanks, the team. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to, Shahzad, Helen, if you have received any questions from the from your side, please feel free to throw at us and we will try to tackle one at a time.
So no questions so far, but I know that there are a number of students on the line that are finance majors that are very interested and have expressed interest to Shahzad and I on future opportunities. So I think they are taking some time to cultivate those questions and share them.
Yeah, no problem. Since the questions are coming or might come a little bit later, few things that I would like to ask my team members that I know, Josh, you have mentioned about the training program, but so another question is I would like to ask questions in terms of are you always looking for a candidate from finance background, or what if somebody doesn't have a finance background, but they're interested in this kind of job and they do like to gain knowledge? What's your preference there?
What?
No, that's a really good question, Bhavish. And
Today, yes.
obviously, people with the right skill set is what we prefer. And sometimes those folks don't necessarily have a finance background. But one thing I found is people that enjoy solving problems and have I want to say a belief in themselves that they're able to get to the bottom of a question are uniquely positioned to do well in our roles. And so whether that be from a finance background, and as you know, we've hired folks outside of the finance world and seen them do well, right? And sometimes we get folks that are marketing background, or they worked in, at a car dealership or what have you, right? Or they worked at a sports organization, right? So I think what's more than having a degree in finance is the need to be the best at what they do, and not only the need, but the capacity to prove that lives, and it's not we're not going to space or to Mars or anything like that, but when people are empowered, then they do well. And so are people that believe in themselves and are empowered to learn and to grow and know that they can do it, right? And they have a belief in themselves. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing that feedback. I think that question and that answer has motivated some more. So here's one from one of our students. What is the average day like for your team? Is it client outreach or product building, etc.?
So it depends on individual's role. So I can explain, if somebody who is starting at analyst or senior analyst level, for them, a typical day is every individual is assigned some clients, and they have their roles defined, and they are focusing on that client's deliverables. If someone who is middle of consultant, senior consultant level, it's a mix for them because they have their own clients, as well as they are also engaging and helping junior team members in troubleshooting. A little bit more senior like Chia, Jack, myself, Josh, we are more like, getting involved in product development and trying to understand what are the new things coming along and what are we trying, how to bring the more efficient process for our clients. So it's a variety, but I would say that, it's a client facing role. So in some shape or form, you're going to work with clients and with their portfolio. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you very much. I have one more. What technical skills do you prefer from a candidate and level of expertise?
I'll take that.
I can take it too, Bhavish, if you want.
All right,
so either ways. Sure. This is Jitesh Parikh. So I think technical, it really varies, right? If you're a bachelor's degree, we are not expecting, like Josh mentioned, rocket science. But I think if you're at a master's level, or anybody who's coming in with 5 to 6 years of experience from the industry, we do expect you have significant, when people say Excel, it's a broad term, right? And I think that's what my guys, especially people like Jack or Josh, will kind of hone in, right? Or whether you might say vended solutions, like right now, there are tools like UPath and Altrax and others that we are using. And these guys also use a lot of tools for reporting for clients. So I think we expect that from people who have been in the industry or doing a master's program after some work to have that kind of experience. But I think if you're a bachelor's or an undergrad, we expect basic knowledge of Excel and stuff. So hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Jitesh. I think the majority of the students on this particular call are master's level. And hence this next question, which is really around quantitative finance. I think there were some examples that were provided on how quantitative finance might be utilized with this team, but maybe someone could elaborate on that.
Yeah, I can take that. So I think quantitative finance is it's a very broad term, right? Like in a master's program, I've done the master's program at IIT. And you do your whether are you trying to figure out a stock, or are you trying to figure out how to invest? Now that's not what our role is, right, at hedge fund services. But I think the way we try to use quantitative is to apply that quantitative analytic mindset to help solve problems for the client. So for example, if a file was sent out to us, 200,000 trades at the end of the day, and intraday the file was only processing 45,000 and there are multiple trades missing. We are trying to use, again, Jack, you can attest to that or talk more about it, but like how are we trying to figure that out? And then we also quantitative-wise, like Jack and others right now are building tools that are for real-time, like that Josh mentioned, where we are talking about dashboards to figure out how to show real-time trade capture processing, like affirmation logics. So talking to technology guys to figure out how do we solve for that particular problem. And something that Josh right now has worked on is also we have a tool that reconciles everything broker to house. And he's been working with me and others for 9 months now to figure out how do we solve the direct posting into our back office systems, which we always were of the mindset of whether we can post or the client has to upload something. But he's used his quantitative analysis and research on figuring out the mappings and the structures of those entries and ability to post them from Rec Dashboard itself. So I think, if you're asking me, are we trying to recommend trades? That's not our job, right? So a lot of people think that when you say hedge fund, it's like they're going to be doing analytics and trying to buy stock for the client, but we are not in that business.
Perfect. Thank you. Another question. I know that this was slightly mentioned at the beginning of the presentation when you were talking about the positions that you were hiring for, but maybe someone can elaborate on this. Can someone who has no experience with hedge funds apply?
So I'll take that. So yeah, we have a variety of roles available right now. So it starts from analyst, senior analyst to consultant and senior consultant. So depending on the role, if someone doesn't have an industry experience or someone has fairly internship or something like that, they can definitely apply for analyst or senior analyst kind of role, because that's an entry point where we do expect people with the very minimum experience, but some knowledge about the financial market, right? If someone who has been in the industry, financial service industry, not directly linked with hedge funds, then it depends on the number of years of experience within the financial service. Now, it could be in a different setting, not a hedge fund setting, a different setting, but those experience do count. So we definitely look at if it's a 2 to 3 years of experience, then it's a consultant kind of role they can apply for. And if it is around 5 years of experience, then they can apply for senior consultant role as well. As Josh mentioned, that we definitely expect that we have a pretty robust training program, and we do make sure that whoever, whether it's analyst or senior analyst, a consultant or senior consultant, we work them with very closely, and we strive to make sure they have good training. Not only that, it's a constant learning process. So even after 10 years, me and Jitesh, he's my sounding board. I go and ask questions. He challenges me. Same thing, me and Josh, we are doing. So it's it's a very good team structure where everyone is learning from each other and making sure that it's not like, okay, I want to learn something and I want to keep it to myself, right? We like to share our knowledge, and that's what Josh was also mentioning, that we have a knowledge share where people can come and talk about what they learned and educate other team members also.
Wonderful, thank you. This next question is directed towards Jitesh. Since you also have completed the MSF program at IIT, what course did you find most beneficial, and are you still using those courses in your current role?
Jitesh, you're on mute.
Sorry, good catch. These kids keep coming in and out as they come back home, so sorry about that. No, I would say, no, that's a great question, right? It's been 12 years now that I've done it, so I'm sure the coursework has changed. I used to be in the downtown building with the law school, right? But I think the opportunities that I got were 2 classes which were very kind of near and dear to me. Was one with the opportunity to learn under Keith Black, where he did the hedge fund class, which actually intrigued me, because as a master's student, I like Bhavish said, right? I had no idea Citadel even existed in Chicago area. So that definitely piqued interest. And then the second one was a VBA class that I did, which helped me to do the financial modeling and really learn and understand how output of a large data set comes out and the answer comes to you. So I think those are definitely something that I really use. And now, am I coding myself? No, but I think I have people like Jack that can help me to do that. But I think what I have learned has helped me to connect the dots between technology and business, right? And the client problems. And that's where I keep telling these guys that my currency is no longer what can I do on a day-to-day basis or open up systems and help you guys. But my currency is to put it on a whiteboard that Bhavish mentioned, be a sounding board, and help solve that problem. So hopefully I answered your question.
Yes, I think that was great. Thank you. I don't see any additional questions at this point. So I'm going to transition over to Shahzad.
Thank you, Helen. So yes, while we are still waiting for students to come up with more questions, I would like to see if Bhavish, any one of you would like to speak to some of the openings that you have. I can actually pull up the job descriptions that you had shared with us.
Sure.
And then maybe you could talk briefly about some of the positions that you're actually recruiting for. So let me share my screen.
Go ahead.
And put that up. Tab.
And I think, Bhavish, as these guys are all like master students, probably everybody has some kind of experience from the background, right? So let's keep it at the consultant or the senior consultant level. So that way as we are not looking for junior people. So
Yep, sounds good. So I think, Shraddha, this is for a senior analyst. If you can open up one with either senior consultant or consultant.
Sure. Here we go.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah.
and I think there sorry, Bhavish,
Go ahead.
one that I do see there's a question from Maria, right? I think about whether it's possible to set up individual meetings. I think that's definitely possible, right? These four guys are definitely unique and have different backgrounds and different spectrums of what they do. So I think that, getting your resume and then going through it and then having a formal setting would be beneficial rather than just talking about what opportunities there are, right? So don't want to be making it more a la carte without looking at the resume and understanding where you also fit in. So,
Yep.
Sorry, Bhavish, go ahead.
No, thanks, Jitesh. So I think this is a consultant role within clearing and settlement, right? And the expectation is that, as I mentioned earlier, that if somebody is coming at a consultant level, we are expecting that 3 years of experience, approximately 3 years of industry experience, not a hedge fund experience. Mainly, the responsibility will be that each candidate will, our partner will assign number of clients depending on the size of the clients and the trading and the portfolio. Now, the products that we manage, it's like listed products, so equity, fixed income products like government bond, corporate bonds, and then derivatives, options, and futures. So we do expect that at least they know the basics about these product types, because it's important to understand and work on a day-or-day basis, like how the products are being treated in the system, right? Now, the expectation is that as they are going, coming into the job and they're working, we are probably going to train them on our internal processes and our internal applications. But at the same time, the basic flow, like for example, if options, for example, someone should know what is option assignment or what is option exercise, how to calculate the strike price, and like how to look at the P&L and stuff like that. So that's our basic expectation for this particular role. As far as you look at some of these require minimum qualification, right? DTC, SWIFT. If those things are not known, we can definitely educate people as long as they have an understanding about the market, how the market works, how the middle office works. Somebody asked about the quantitative, I think it was Maria Mahmood before. So as Jitesh mentioned, that we are not in the business of recommending trades, but we are definitely working with our clients and solving their issues. Now, some of the issues are related to P&L. They might ask questions like, why my P&L is up? Why the what is the the cash projection based on my options events and stuff like that. So we need to able to understand how to calculate that, or if the calculation has been done by one of our systems, how to explain to the client. So these kind of things are we are expecting at consultant, senior consultant level. Anything else that any of you guys would like to add?
No, I think the analytical mindset and coming on a daily basis to come and help solve the problem is what we are really looking for, right? Let's kind of collaborate, let's understand, and then also talk across a lot of shared service, what we call them as shared service teams, is the secure, because we are in the middle of everything, right? So we are talking to the security setup guys, we are talking to the P&L guys at end of day. On T+1, that is after the trade has been done, the next day we are talking to the reconciliation team. And I think also executing brokers, like Jack mentioned, sometimes you're talking to the CEOs and directors of operations directly over email. So I think it gives you a unique opportunity, right? I think it's more of how much do you want to learn from this rather than what do we always have to offer to you, right? And I think these guys said it right? There's a lot of NTUs, we call it Northern Trust University, has tons and tons of products on what you want to learn. Plus, these guys are as good as, understanding any hedge fund. We have 140 clients ranging from Citadel, which is the top, versus all the way down to, Pershing Square as well, right? So I think it's a matter of, do you want to really understand how these things work and then, absorb that and take it forward in your career is what we offer.
And one last thing that I would like to add is that irrespective of the position, whether it's analyst or senior consultant or even further, right, it's a multitasking. That's the key here, because we are working with one of the best in the industry, and definitely every client thinks they're important, right? If an individual is covering multiple clients, they have to make sure like they are very good at multitasking. Time management is another thing. Prioritization, right? Some of the key characteristics. It's a fast-paced environment. Before you know, it's lunchtime. Sometime you know the day is over. Sometimes the weeks are over also. So it's a very fast-paced environment. So if somebody enjoys that kind of work environment, then definitely this is the area where they can come and work with us.
And again, I think, you guys did ask, but we are not truly looking for everybody has to have, a master's degree or a particularly finance degree, right? We have people from economics. We have a guy that we hired, which he was great. He was, what was he doing? He was an athlete, right? He was, then there's a guy that we have that he's done, he was on the Bulls management committee. But because he was able to manage that logistics and try to like Bhavish mentioned, the pressure and soak it up and do a lot, I think those are the kind of things that we are looking for, right? And also personable. I think the number one thing that when I'm interviewing people is what I'm looking for. These guys are looking at, does he have communication skills or what have you? But I'm looking for, is he going to fit into my 35, 40 people team, right? Is he going to create waves, or is the person going to be fitting in with the group that we have? So I think that's what we challenge each other quite a bit in whether the expectations or whether, what the next steps are. But I think that's what we are for. So I know we are coming up to a wrap. So Bhavish, if you have any closing, or I think we are good.
Yeah, I mean, if there is no other question, I think as you said, Jitesh, right? I think the important thing is that to get in and work in the team environment, right? And as you seen all of us, right? I mean, we are all working together for almost more than 5 years, at least minimum. I started my career with the same manager, and I'm still with the same manager who's here, Jitesh Parikh. And that speaks the volume, right? Because why I'm still here after 10 years. So that's sort of environment and the culture that we are looking, and that sort of culture we are in. Recently, the last thing is that, recently I was reading on CNBC that 4.5 million people left job in August. Somewhere around 4 million people left their job in June or July. Why? Because they're not happy with the work environment. And that's exactly what we are offering, that an open door policy where everyone is helping each other. So if you're interested, feel free to, we shared our contacts with you as well. Send your resumes. If you're interested, we have shared the links also. You can go ahead and apply for the job. And if you want to talk, as Jitesh mentioned, send your resumes. We will look into it and request that I want to have an informational meeting, one of us will definitely have an informational meeting with you guys as well.
Well, thank you once again, Jitesh, Bhavish, Shia, Joshua, and Jack. Really appreciate the time that you all have taken out to talk to our students today. Thank you once again. We look forward to sending some resumes to you as soon as next week, as soon as we get the resumes from our students. And then we look forward to keeping in touch. Any help you need with respect to scheduling of interviews or anything that you need, we are always there to help and assist. With those few words, I would like to thank all the participants, including the students who have attended this presentation, and I wish everyone the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for the opportunity to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.